Hi builders. In this video, I'll walk you through how to build a RAG pipeline from LlamaParse to Snowflake Cortex. LlamaParse gives us fast, accurate, multilingual parsing from complex documents full of images, tables, and charts embedded directly in the text and for 10 plus file types. From there, we'll land the data directly in Snowflake, split the text, and search over it with Cortex Search. Last, we'll complete our RAG pipeline with Cortex Complete. Now let's dive in. All right, now we're in VS Code, so we can get started. The first thing we need to do is set some keys. So you're going to need a Llama Cloud API key along with your Snowflake credentials. If you don't have a Llama Cloud API key, I've got the link in the instructions along with the Snowflake signup. Then, once we do that, we can load some data. So the first thing we need to do is get our PDF. So I've got a link where you can check out Snowflake's recent 10K document, which is about 200 or so pages. Fairly complex with lots of embedded tables and things like that. And then we're going to load it and parse it directly with just this parser parse, setting any workers and other settings that we want. Once it's started parsing, you're going to see our job ID right here. That was quick. Now, once we're done parsing, we can check out the documents from the result. So we'll get the markdown documents. And note that we're setting split by page to false. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to convert the Llama index documents to a data frame that we can load to Snowflake. So to do that, I've written a quick helper, which you'll find in the notebook. So we're going to skip over some of the keys in the documents that we don't need. And then we're just going to create a pandas data frame. Now, once we've created our data frame, we're ready to write to Snowflake. So I'm going to create my session, and then I'm going to convert my pandas data frame to Snowpark, so it's ready to write to Snowflake. I can do that by just using my Snowflake session.create data frame. Then I'm going to write my Snowpark data frame to a table called Snowflake 10K in my Snowflake session. And I'm going to use the overwrite mode here, but I can instead use append as well if I wanted. Cool. So now that I've written my table, what I have here is a single row with all of my text parsed along with the ID and the file name. If I had multiple documents, then that would be here as well. But right now we just have one row per file. So the next thing I need to do is I need to split the text. So to split the text, I'm going to use Snowflake's native split text recursive character function along and set my chunk size and chunk overlap. And I'm going to be sure to use the markdown setting here because we've used the markdown format for parsing. Awesome. So now we've created a new table with all of our chunks. So let's see what that looks like. So you see now we have a bunch of different rows, one for each chunk, each containing a different chunk from our parse text. Now we can go on to create the Cortex Search service. So I'm going to call this command create Cortex Search service. I'm going to give it a name, set my compute warehouse, and then I'll just run it on this query. And once the search service is created, it'll let me know. Just like that. So now I'm going to create a quick Python class to wrap around the search service so we can call it either easily, and I can test it out. You saw how fast that was. So I asked about the total revenue in billions and a breakdown by product revenue. And you see we've got our relevant chunks right here containing all of the precise parse text all the way from our original documents. Now we can take our retriever and wrap it into a full RAG pipeline. And now we can get precise answers to our questions. So let's say I ask, what is the total revenue in billions, and how much of that is product revenue? I get a precise breakdown that Snowflake made $2.8 billion in fiscal year 2024, and about 95% of that was product revenue. Amazing. In this video, we built a complete, highly accurate RAG pipeline. We started with highly complex PDFs and parsed them with LlamaParse, and completed the RAG pipeline with Cortex. Now check out the links to the Quickstart and documentation in the description, and follow for more videos like this one.